take my head and hold it just like charm.
Hello there and welcome to a bit of Spyro the Dragon. I hope you're all having a pleasant time. In the previous part we had completed the Artisan's homeworld and the Peacekeeper's homeworld, and now we're in the wonderful wizarding world of Wazix, the Magic Crafters. So let's have ourselves a gay old time here. So, I've not had so much difficulty with that thief. I very rarely do. I'm very glad that he died quite easily. Now, something I must mention about the thieves here is that this is one of the last worlds where we will see the thieves. In fact, I think this is the final world, because in order to progress to the next lobby, we must have a certain amount of eggs, which have been fairly easy to get so far.
Welcome to Magic Crafters. I want you to release the dragons, reclaim our treasure, and recover the eggs from those pesky blue thieves.
So there we are, so we've just been given more instructions. Recover the treasure, rescue the dragons, and something else beginning with R, and then to do with the eggs, so that's good. Another thief here. Nice and easy once more. Super Spyro fan had said I should record. I should record the comments with my camera on my phone, which I have done. Oh, speaking of which, I'm terribly sorry about this. I must set the timer so I know that I'm going to be recording for an hour and 10 minutes, and I must also make sure that I've got the comments there. Yes, I do. So, in between portals loading and things like that, I will be addressing the comments I've got. Also, thank you ever so much for the first views. At the time of recording, I got 7 views on the first video. Awesome. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, it inspires confidence in me that you know, I'm not getting too many views for that one, because I don't want loads of people flooding into it and going, "Oh, this is shit," and then leaving. So yes. So I'm glad that so far people have been watching, so that's good. So yes, and also as well, Super Spyro fan, thank you for the first comment there as well. Please do send in your comments, I will try and address them as best I can.
When you see arrows like these, you can charge along with them to begin a supercharge.
Supercharge? Excellent.
Go ahead, try it.
Thank you, I will. I must apologise as well if the audio's a bit off in this video. Let me know how you feel about the resolution and the sound quality, because I'm not entirely sure how it's going to sound, because I've tweaked it a little bit, and I don't really want to mess around too much with it, because I had great difficulty recording just the first part of this, so yeah. Now there is a key in here, but I just want to record this because I want to show you something. This is what happens, at least I hope to remember to do this. Anyway, I'll just get the rest of the gems here though. Because I want to show you what happens when you can destroy a chest without a key. Oops, a daisy. So the character gimmick here is that these creatures raise and lower the platforms, and they're going to feature in quite a few levels, and they raise lower platforms and generally make your life a pain. Also as well, they can sometimes act when you're in proximity of them, so they might raise them lower platforms periodically, or they might do it the moment you get near them, which is something that I will have to demonstrate as we're in this lobby.
Place where you can learn to fly. I remember when I was a young dragon, earning my wings.
Learn to fly. Got it.
I missed what that guy was saying, so it was probably about being old and flying and things like that. So we're going to destroy a chest now without the key, because we can use the supercharge. And let's hope I don't embarrass myself anyway. Hope is the optimal word here as well. So we can go in here and destroy it with the supercharge. There we go. Oh, we've got all 300 gems. And that means that if we go... We don't have to use the supercharge to get back, because we destroyed the enemy there that was going to block the path. If we go back here, we can see... Well, what will we see? Perhaps what we don't see is the important thing. I'm just really showing off at this point. the key has disappeared. So you might find that with a few zones. If you destroy things with the supercharge or super flame, they will be the key will disappear because there's no point in having it anymore. But I mean, I have to wonder what kind of code was implemented to have that happen. You know, it's like, how do you make the key disappear? How does the game know if the chest has disappeared? And why remove the key? Would it have caused a bug or a glitch or something like that if that happened? Now, in one of my favourite levels, a Wizard Peak. Immediately loving the aesthetic here. I love the colours. I love how they try to snow-cap the mountains as well. Not much to say about the stars here, although I do like the skybox. I like how the sort of the colour sort of bleeds into one another. So you've got the black, and then you've got the dark blue, and then you've got the light blue and blues before that. And as well, like you saw, like the scan lines and things like that. Makes it look like strokes of paint, in my opinion. And these are one of my favourite enemies here. These guys, because they're very mischievous. The music here as well is absolutely phenomenal. You'll hear their laugh. Unfortunately, once they've made their attack, they're kind of weak because they don't really charge at their attack too quickly. Like those guys there, they cast a bolt of lightning, and then they just start running around a circle. Circle, and it sort of reduces the difficulty of the game dramatically compared to the Really Nice Trilogy, where you would you would attempt to slay a foe, and if you missed or whatever, they would immediately wind up their next attack, and they would attack, or they were very quick to attack in the first place if their next attack was going to be rather slow. Oh, so there's nope, the speed key still attached to R. Because I thought that I'd changed the controls for this game, but apparently not, and I don't really want to be doing that now while I'm recording. No, it was when I was playing Spyro Season of Ice that I changed the controls. And I quickly learnt why I don't like Season of Ice. It was in Market Mesa, pretty much the second or third, depending on the way you look at it, level of that lobby. I did not like how Spyro controls in that game. It's just basically like in 4 directions as opposed to, well, 8, I think it's in this game. Now, oh shit, no, I missed the platform there because I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, it's like, no, I've got to ring bells in order and navigate a really small screen. No, fuck that. Now, something I had failed to mention in the previous part is, my camera's probably coming up actually, is in the top right corner you can maybe see Spyro's head, and surrounding Spyro's head are these sort of pearls I'm picking up now. When you pick up about, I thought it was 50 originally, but I think it's actually about 30 or 20 maybe, or 25. When you pick up enough of those, you get an extra life. Because you don't get gems per life, you don't get like lives per however many gems or whatever. Like in Crash Bandicoot, if you get 100 Wumpa, or Mario 64, 100 coins gets you a life. Well, a star in the case of that game specifically, I think. So yeah, as I said, you've got to get those. But the way it worked in later games was that you wouldn't get those pearls. What you'd do is you wouldn't get anything from defeating enemies besides souls in the second game. And I'll explain the soul mechanic as we get there. And you'd get souls in the second game for defeating enemies, and then in the third game you get gems and then nothing from enemies. So what you'd do is you'd kill 10 critters or fodder, and every 10th one had, I think, either a chance or a guarantee. You'd have a chance or a guarantee that you would get an extra life butterfly, as seen in the jars.
Welcome to Wizard Peaks. This is my favorite supercharge spot. Use it to bash those wizards.
So that's another nice recycled character model there. You can sort of see where the budget's running out. Yeah, the sort of fine details of the places are kind of long gone at this point. It's like once you've gone past the Peacekeepers, you really begin to see like more simple textures and less details. I mean, granted, there are a lot of patterns all over the place. I missed the guy up there. Shit. I'll just go up and get him very quickly. there's a lot of you know, you start to see less patterns and all kinds of craziness later on. This is definitely where the madness of Spyro really began to seep in. Honestly, I think that's actually I think it's a great visual representation of what happened to Johnbonne reviews. That at first it was a very sensible review show, and actually sort of gave decent criticism, and then it just spiraled into madness, as you will see by the Dreamweavers in the Dreamweavers. You've also got like the filthy period as well with like the Peacemakers as well. So yeah. There we have one of my favourite jumps in the series. One that I actually had a great difficulty with many years ago, and I don't know why. Probably just wasn't brave enough to do it. There's a thief there, he won't run away or anything like that, he just stands there. And however, if you charge him, you do run the risk of falling off the edge. So yeah. And thieves don't attack either, they have no defense. I think maybe some, not thieves themselves, but like people, like sort of like thief-like characters, people who steal things in the story, they might have an attack. Like for example, the thing that steals the spark plugs, in the second game. I think they may have had an attack. Flying Squirrel, I think it was. And you got the cat burglars, but they didn't have an attack, but had the same sort of character model. Once again, I'm tangenting my balls to Bangkok.
Thank you for releasing me.
I get a bit sick of seeing this character model, if I'm totally honest. That's one criticism I have, is that I don't mind the dragons sort of looking the same in their world. I understand that you're trying to separate the cultures and things like that and trying to, give them a unique look. Fine. But when you just have 3 of the same model, I mean, to me it looks like a bit of a bug, I'm not quite sure. If this next one's of that same character model who's up there, I'm going to be best pleased. Gems on the wall, by the way. Just want to look around because the scenery is absolutely astonishing. I think the music suits it very well. Stuart Copeland, when he designed the music, what he would do is that he would play the levels first and then design the music, rather than do what I feel, and I can't say with any confidence, is that as opposed to what people do now, is that they just have an orchestra and just bang any old shit out.
Listen carefully, Spyro. There's a secret area in the artisan home. It is at the waterfall. Try jumping on the stones there.
Artisan home, waterfall. Sounds good.
Heard a tale of 5 grey stones. Heard it in the ice wizard's thrones. Heard a rumble neath my claws. Heard the chime of magic doors, which is what that alludes to there. The reveal of Sunny Flight was there, so if you didn't figure out the puzzle before, that's fine. You could still progress into the next lobby. I mean, there's no dragons to rescue anyway, which was the first requirement. Pretty sure. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, you had to rescue so many dragons before you could continue on. Now, something I mentioned this in the Ring Nash trilogy, but one thing that really bugged me about ukulele is that you have to have a lot of instinct for, navigating places. Like, you got to look at something and say, there's going to be a collectible behind there. You've got to have that intuition, and you sort of have to have it there as well, where you've got to be able to look at that and say, there's something around this edge, and that would occur in the second game as well, I think. Just check. I don't dare press the back button, because I think that resets the game. Yeah, don't ask me why. So 500 out of 503, yes, fine. Oh, how many eggs do we need to get? Inventory screen. Not called the guide book or the atlas in the later 2 games. 3 more eggs, okay, that's fine. So we'll continue on. So there is a bit of that sort of instinct kind of thing. Yeah, I've got a feeling I missed something here, but I can't quite place it. I just feel as though I haven't done everything. I think it's because I've had to go back and forth that many times. I'm like, am I certain I picked that up? I also managed to get those 2 meddlesome gems without really making a point about it as well, on that sort of first massive supercharged loop we did. So, yeah. I was going to talk about Stuart Copeland, but I keep getting distracted by things. Those green wizards there, they have an ability that... oh, sorry, we'll do Night Flight. Sorry, Crystal Flight, rather. They have... So when they throw their thunderbolts, I notice that sometimes their sleeves turn red, which I don't remember being in the PAL version. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. I'm sorry, I want to listen to the music of Crystal Flight very quickly. This song always feels out of place to me, and I'm not sure. I say that, I'm not sure if I've ever said that, or if I've ever thought that. I'm only just now realising that it's out of place. I don't remember this in the PAL version, but then I think I've said to myself in the past, because no one else wants to listen to this shit. I think I said to myself in the past that that doesn't sound like it should belong in Crystal Flight. Like that sounds like I've heard it on one of Crystal Fisher's videos or whatever. It was uploading the soundtrack. You know, that sounds like it should be in another level. But I'm trying to think of what level it should be in, and it's not in any of the levels I can really think of. Anyway, this is Crystal Flight. It lives up to its name. And you can see why I got confused with Night Flight. Notice thing as well that we've got the same themes again: rings, archers, planes, and chests, which was the same before, except in Night Flight, except replace the planes with lighthouses. Yeah, we don't need to set another record. There's no thing. There's nothing you get from that. So yeah, there we have ourselves another 300 gems. Nice and easy peasy. Also as well, I could have come out of there and landed on that platform, which would allow me to save the game. So, because we got close to this green wizard here, and when I say green wizard earlier, I mean the ones that throw the thunderbolts, not these guys who are like what I call druids. I don't know why. They're, if anything, they're more like World of Warcraft shaman, but never mind. They sometimes have an ability which causes them to raise the ground like that, and they tend to chuckle at you like this. Because they're fucking idiots who have no sense, like not a nugget of strategic sense in their heads. Thinking that maybe you want the wall to keep enemies out rather than keep them in. Anyway, off to High Caves we go. Now, one thing that Super Spyro fan had said was that they prefer the skyboxes showing in the portals as opposed to the sort of blurred and misty image that comes from the reignited portals, and I have to agree. I prefer to actually be able to look into the other world and see, like, you know, oh, this is a, you know, so this is the land I'm going to be going to, and it does feel like you're going from, you know, one territory to another completely instantly, rather than like how I would imagine the transition from the Reignited trilogy to go, which is like almost like the Super Mario 64 transition. So sort of how I feel when I look at going through that portal. It's like it must feel like you're going through a ripple of I don't know, portal magic, you know, instead of like a clean transition from one to another, like you're stepping through a door from one room to another.
Please do something about these green druids. They insist on moving everything in sight.
But that's not to disparage anything that I said about the Reignited trilogy. I love the portal designs there as well, where you've got a mist seeping out as though it's like magical energy, and that world is coming into ours. That's kind of cool. So I have to give the artists credit there. I haven't really much to say about High Cave's design. I mean, you've got I sort of split it into 2, maybe 3 segments. So you've got this part here where you've got the druids and the mages, as I call them, fighting. Then you've not that they can kill each other, but they bother each other immensely. Oh wait, you've got the wizards and the druids and another type as well, because you had the wind wizards. In this wall here, where I'm pointing at now, where the horns are, there was a painting on the wall, and that I think had a picture of Hunter. Now, why Hunter was there, I have no idea, but I failed to remember the name of the paint, the subject of the painting, rather. You destroy the painting, actually it could have been a dragon, and you would get a skill point. Now, skill points aren't really in this game as such. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 rare things that you can do to get extra lives and things like that, but I'm not entirely sure. Also, so these are fireworks crates. Crashing into them causes damage, so you're better off igniting them with your flames. Now, I was also sent a list of cheat codes as well. I did not have too much of a look at it at this point, but I may have another look at it later. Oh shit. Oh yeah, I was talking about Season of Ice earlier. I hate the thieves in the Game Boy Advance games. They can go fuck themselves. Like, maybe I need a power-up from the fairies later on, or it's an endgame thing, but I couldn't catch the thief. And I was playing with an Xbox One controller as well, so I would have thought it would have helped, but no matter what I do, I cannot catch the thief. So maybe I need some kind of power-up to speed up and catch up. I don't know. But honestly, I hated them. Like, however annoying they are in the Reignited trilogy, however annoying they are here, or any other game, the thieves, I can't stand them in Season of Ice, and I hope they're not the same in Season of Flame.
I hate those bugs. When I become big and strong, like you, I'll squash them all.
Until then, remember that supercharge makes you invincible.
That's the man. I don't like the look of that one. I think it's the eyes. They look very SCP-like, or like they belong to SCP. I don't know. Now, this chasm here seems dirty great, and that's because it is. However, I will show you soon why it's nothing to fear.
Try combining supercharge with jumping and gliding, and really explore the high caves.
Okay. See, anyone who says that Anthem's flight is great, oh god, I can't believe it. Of course I'm bringing that up again. Clearly hasn't played Spyro the Dragon, because this is where the fun of flying comes from. You know, unlimited freedom. Oh no, oh dear. Well, I'm rescued by the fairies, so my attempts at suicide had been thwarted once again. Gee, thanks. Also, as well, they've put quite a fake tan on them, haven't they? Anyway. Let's see if we can get this one out of trouble. Oh, yes! Nice. Got him with my dragon wizard blades, or flames. Yes. This is where you can get a lot of freedom of flight, at least only for this part. If you were to fall in the first part where the wizards were fighting, or the spellcasters were fighting rather for the more general term, then you would have had a bit of trouble. Now we're actually going to enter the not-so-high caves, but may quickly become high caves, with the supercharge. Now, these creatures here, oh dear, I'll demonstrate here, they cannot be flamed because they're metal creatures, but I cannot charge them. See, charging doesn't do anything. And they're also incredibly fast as well, so if I'm going to take out those beetle-like creatures, I'm going to need to use either the supercharge or something a bit more useful for the higher levels, because I can't actually go up the stairs with the supercharge because you've got these pesky ledges here, and I'm not getting up there with the supercharge. Now these things were fucking terrifying when I was a kid. It's like, this is what put me off Spyro quite a lot. Not the entire game, but the idea of completing it and progressing to the Beastmakers, because I hated this. I didn't know how to really kill them quickly enough, and now that's not such a problem. Now I need to take out the spellcaster there because he raises the walls there, so it looks like an anus, and which I'm not going to demonstrate because this video will be flagged. So I'm going to instead take this fairy here, have a nice fairy kiss, and then we're going to proceed and kill these things. Now this is the Super Flame power-up. So the flame has turned a very nice red, which reminds me of those old lollipops that you used to get, like not Calippo, but things like that you'd eat in the summertime, which is about now actually. Let's see, you'd have the super flame, and you can also destroy any sort of metal containers, chests. You could destroy, sort of metal containers, armored enemies, creatures made of metal, like we've already seen. And the idea is as well, you'd also take the super flame down to here. Now there are only 2 levels where this appears, unfortunately. The super flame is incredibly limited in this game. And as well, also, you don't have the UI element telling you how long your I suppose it would be super char to an extent. Super flame lasts compared to the Reignited trilogy, where you'd have the bar going down, which was originally introduced in Spyro 2. Nice. And have we got everything? Yes, indeedy do, little. So now I could just exit the level, or we could go. Yeah, should we just exit the level? Oh, I just pressed down on the D-pad. So whatever I do, I must not press the select button because it'll reset the game. I could find out how to save the game, but not while I'm recording. I think it's Shift F1. I'm sure. Whoops, daisies. Oh god. Now I'm a bit all over the place today, admittedly. I could do this in a more coherent order, but instead, because I'm Johnbonne, I'm going to go to confront Blowhard, who was one of my top 10 bosses in Spyro the Dragon. I just want to address a comment very quickly. What have we got here? The Egg Thief is a lot easier. Yes, I did notice that. I think Thor's advice in the Reignited trilogy was to check your progress in the pause menu. I forget how much charm the original games have. The Reignited trilogy didn't carry across. Oh yes, Toasty. This was appropriate because we're on a boss level. So in Toasty, I comment on the stained glass window that we never saw. If I remember, I'm going to have to show that at the end because that will probably be a much shorter part to just do that world. In fact, actually, it's the final part. It should be a bit longer. So this series is looking about 3, maybe 4 parts. Actually, yeah, I think it will be about 4 parts. What was I saying? Yes, Toasty. So there was a bit of, which you notice as well, the sort of top of the crate actually comes off like that. So the gem sits on top. Oh, nice, very nice. I only just noticed that. This is Blowhard here. So yes, the stained glass, I loved it, and they were saying that it reminded Super Spyro fan of the stained glass demon in Medieval. And I was thinking exactly that, but I never mentioned it. And I thought, well, what's the point in mentioning the stained glass demon? It's like, it's a bit of a random thing. And then again, this is me we're talking about. Lovely symmetry and patterns, by the way. Something that the Reignited trilogy fucked up on.
Thanks for releasing me, Spyro. You have no idea how long I've been trapped in crystal. And, neither do I. Who are you again?
I'm out of here.
And this is brilliant boss music, by the way, the Blowhard music. It's fantastic. Really bassy, fantastic beats to it. There's just, the rhythm is perfect. And the instruments, bar none. Also as well, patterns on the floor here. Take a look at that shit. Artists of Toys for Bob. So yeah, it's like, I thought it was a pretty random thing to bring up, the stained glass demon, but then actually, I do like the stained glass demon. I think it's very scary. A great way to end the Medieval 1 demo. Now, I was asked, will I be doing a bit of that, and I would say not blind, not like the Spyro Reignited Trilogy video, because I don't know Medieval well enough. I mean, I've reviewed it twice, I think. I've reviewed like Medieval 1 once, and the second game twice, but like I haven't really remembered them all that well, and my sort of review ethics back then weren't as solid as they are now. So like, for example, like, I'm missing a lot of gems here. Where did I go wrong? So what I mean by my review ethics was like, I wasn't as dead set on completing games to review them as much as I am now. Also as well, it's like, I like to take my review notes entirely from you know, my own footage. How the fuck did I miss those? There we go, that's all of them now. We'll go back to the portal so we can have a look at the level. And without the wizards, everything is set back. Has been sort of put back to normal quite nicely. Oh shit! That sliding is dangerous. So it's like, yes, I wasn't really dead set on like you know, finishing the games, and I watched a lot of content to get review notes rather than just playing the game and giving my first impressions and writing those down. But now I'm a lot more strict about how I approach game reviewing and things like that. So, but anyway, yes. So Medieval, I would probably want to blind play it first, and even then, it's not like, honestly. I mean, I love the game. I prefer to watch someone play it than play it myself, because I'm a scaredy cat first of all. But I'm also shit at the game. So I prefer watching other people play it and enjoy that. And I love the music as well. I love the development history of it. I love all that kind of stuff. It's fantastic. The setting, the characters, the hero, Sir Daniel Fortesque, or I think it's actually pronounced Fortescue in the games. But actually, I think linguistically speaking, it is Fortesque. So yeah, I think Sir Daniel Fortescue, back from the dead once again. The gallant hero of Galloway. Sorry. God, I used to be able to recite all the dialogue from video games when I was a young man. And then I just started to hate video games, and then it was all forgotten. So, so to answer the question, will I be doing a Let's Play? Maybe not. Probably not till next year. And even then, it's I don't know how long I'm going to be doing YouTube for, to be honest, because I'm running out of kart races to review. I'm running out of inspiration and willpower. I kind of want to just get all the reviews done so I can kindly just put this to rest. Fitting bit of video there, but because I don't really want to review any other kind of game other than, you know, kart races and the like. So I'll just quickly take him around. And, oh, he's one of the toughest enemies in the game, believe it or not, because of that ledge, because of things like that. And those guys' knockback is horrible. Otherwise, actually, this guy's surprisingly hard sometimes. I always tend to miss him. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, because I just want to get my kart races done, and I'm running out of patience to do it. Like, I mean, I've gone 8 months without a review now, which isn't sort of bad for, you know, isn't sort of bad compared to the recent Game Show where that was quite frequent. But now I'm just getting tired, you know. And I mean, I enjoy doing these videos, but you know, like a bit of is going to be far and few between. I can't just let's play anything that I'm playing at the moment. You know, it has to be a game I'm very passionate about and know a lot about, so I can talk about it.
Spyro, you're not afraid of those big, noisy, gigantic, awful beasts, are you?
Of course not.
I didn't think so.
What was to say about the design here in Alpine Ridge? I always get that and High Caves mixed up, and I shouldn't. Now, I love the castle here, but you're going to see, if you haven't seen the Reignited trilogy, you're going to see that there's really not much of a castle. And it's one of the many things that baffles me with the design decisions of this game. It's wild and crazy, and there's no artistic cohesion. It's like the devs just thought, hey, we like wizards, let's put them in a level. Let's put them in 5 levels, okay? And then they come up with this. It's like, well, we should have a level with a castle. Wizards have castles, right? I mean, yeah, I guess so. Wizard towers. And then it's this. It's like, why? You know, you've got those little, you know, again, those little windows there, but there's no doors. There's no ability to enter them. What dragon's going to fit in there? Is it for the damsels that they lock in the tower? Oh, wait, they didn't do that in this game. I don't know. Fuck. It's just, whatever, just put it in there. I mean, a lot of this you'd probably look at today, if Spyro's released today, you look at this and you think it's just an asset flip, and it's like an asset flip without like the pre-existing assets. Someone has just cobbled together all this, like someone put in effort to make the texture of the stone, to have the patterns around the base of the towers there, to put the to not only design the flags but animate them, and not in sync either. Which kind of is a bit weird, if I'm honest, because that means that there's all kinds of winds blowing over it. It's magic, okay? Someone designed that to use it once in the entire game. And I suppose it's like waste not, want not. Now, I hate this part here, because this wizard... Oh. I was expecting that to go really poorly. I bet the next bit's going to go bad. Which is that guy down there. He's a fucking prick if ever I saw one. So yeah, it's just total madness. It's like, oh, what happened here? So yeah, waste not, want not. Like they must have had that, and so we're gonna have that somewhere. But they were running out of time, so they thought, fuck it, plunk it in to Alpine Ridge. We need to wait for the player to go all the way around, so they're not missing enemies, and we need to fill space. And I can sort of see actually some of the merits behind that. So it makes the level feel more compact, and you know, you can space your gems around. So you've not just got like a massive field that the player's just running around in. You know, massive space where they're just picking up stray gems and whatnot. So it's more of a path. So that I can sort of say, okay, fine, it's kind of clever. Now I have no idea what these beasts are called. Half the things in this game are actually named, and I'm sure you can find the names in the code. I'll have to try and remember the name of the creatures from the Dreamweavers, but I did mention in my top 10 levels of Spyro the Dragon that they had names, and that they, not only that, but they were gendered as well. And that's one of the weird things about the wiki. It's like, when I say Doctor Who has one of the best cited of wikis in wiki history, but my god, the fact that you can say their gender is astonishing. So yeah, what times we live in. And then this is taking us back to the beginning as well, with that lovely pattern on the floor there. And I think this skybox as well is actually borrowed from, oh dear, that texture there. This skybox would actually go into Ocean Speedway. In fact, I should have shown earlier, but there was some nice, beautiful rays of the sun shining down. That was something I wanted to comment on as well, is that the lighting is astonishing, because you got the sun and the rays there, and then you got the sky that's slightly darker over there, and it feels 3D. Oh, it's here as well. Like, you got purple clouds, you got blue sky, and then over there it's lighter, and I think that's terrific. That's it makes it feel like there is a sun and moon and things like that. It makes it feel like it's more alive, and if it was perhaps, you know, sort of spinning ever so slightly, simulate like night and day sequences, that'd be kind of neat, as opposed to like this static screen here. There we are. Oh god, I'm glad I got that on camera, because that's beautiful. Wonderful detail. Oh my god almighty. Yeah, some of the texture work wasn't fantastic, but still. I will give them this. I do like what they've done with the moss on the walls and made it feel like it's growing, and this is an ancient place, perhaps where the first druids had resided before the dragons came to nest here, and well, everything went to cock there.
Remember that these blue thieves haven't stolen eggs only in the Magic Crafter world. Don't worry, I'll take care of them.
Oh shit. I love the music for Alpine Ridge, but I'm certain that one of these levels had different music. It's either Alpine Ridge or High Caves that has different music depending on the region. This is actually the one lobby where I should be listening to the music more than any other, because I think that's where the most significant changes were. In fact, I'm pretty sure one of the levels uses the music from High Treetops. But I'll never know now, because I wasn't paying fucking attention. But yeah, I'm pretty sure one of the levels used the music from Treetops. I'm certain it was High Caves, last time I played it. On the emulator, anyway. Okie dokie, so I think that's just about everything here. Yes, I think we've pretty much done this lobby. And I'll just double check the inventory as well, because I think we've got every single egg in the game. Yes, we have! We've got all the eggs, so that's fantastic. So we can move on to the next. And that's where the eggs stop appearing, so that if you want to progress, you've basically got to do the first 3 lobbies. Although, if you get all the eggs and do no levels here, but get all the eggs from the previous lobbies, you can basically progress from the Peacekeepers all the way to the next lobby, the Beast Makers. So off we go. So yes, oh yes. By the way, I was about to say the ultimate combination of the if you want some good music for the Stained Glass Demon besides Bob and Barnes stuff, Stained Class by Judas Priest. It's a fantastic song. Got some comments here about the demo. I'm not going to read that. Oh yes, the Super Spyro fan also says as well, 29-15 minutes. You're talking about the monk character at the end of the Colossus level in Spyro 2, where he tells you to kill the Yeti, even though the text says the torch. Peacekeepers. Okay. Also, the whirligig is called a whirlwind. I'm sorry, it's a whirligig. I'm telling you right now, it's a whirligig. I know it might say in the code, in the script, in the voice files, and in the goddamn holy scriptures of Spyro the Dragon, but it does say somewhere, at least in my head, it's a whirligig. Yes, the text may have said torch in Colossus, where the voice actor says kill, because we're talking about censorship.
Nasty Nork is turning our swamp into an electrified junkie, and it used to be so beautiful.
I'm sure it was.
My favourite design of dragon here. So we've got Terrace Village here. I love the portal designs as well. Very consistent with the theme here. No wind blowing because the flag's there, unless they've they're crusted with, I don't know, swamp gunk. Yeah. If you don't know what that is, you'll find some here in my room somewhere. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, so I think I recall though Hunter said something about kill as well. Yes, in Colossus it does say torch the Yeti instead of kill the Yeti. There's a contradiction in the voice files and the text. But I think it was in Spyro 3 as well, because Hunter played a much bigger role there. It frustrates me to no end trying to remember what it was, and I should have checked a wiki or something, but I mean, for Christ's sakes, if they could tell me the gender of a creature, you'd think they'd be able to tell me, you know, what text lines there are in what game. So, yeah. Oh, that reminds me as well, Moneybags keeps referencing haiku in later games. In Spyro 3, I think he referenced it a fuck ton towards the end. And, oh yeah, these things can't be charged. It's a little bit early, but still. Because I knew it was coming. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, shit. And, yeah, it's just in Season of Ice. And I think he actually mentions it in Spyro Fusion as well. Haiku is fine.
Spyro, it's great to see you, but I've got to go.
It's alright, Cletus anytime. It doesn't look like a Cletus, but yeah, I don't know why I was following up with that. So here we have Wild Flight. Oh, I like the stone arch here as well. Very different to some of the others as well. So that's 2 portal designs that we've seen. Interesting. Were I paying attention? Had I known that before, I may have paid attention to previous lobbies and see if there were any inconsistencies with the portal designs there. So yes, love the design. The lighting here is perfect. Everything's fantastic. It's dark. I don't know why I'm describing it to you, obviously you can see unless you're playing this in the background, in which case, awesome, carry on playing Total War Medieval 2 Definitive Edition. Anyway, I love that hut there, that's fantastic. I love that so much, I want to live in that. I mean, granted, I don't know how I'd get down, but as long as it had a PC with Total War Medieval 2 Definitive Edition, and electricity, of course, and Wi-Fi so I can chat to lovely Chris, then yeah, I'd be quite content living in that little hut. It points to the pointless aesthetic of the game. Like, why do these things exist here? Why is this here? And it's like, it doesn't matter. Just enjoy it. I mean, I hate that so much when people just say, I need to enjoy it. It's like, no, I fail to suspend my disbelief. I can only suspend my disbelief so much. But yeah, it's like, I like that though. I like the pointless assets in this game sometimes. Now, this temple is a lot. I'm not going to say a lot less detailed, but it misses the monkey faces that were here before, because they were because now we've just got these torches and these lovely stone textures as well. I have to say, it's fascinating. I really should have added the beast makers to my top 10 levels of Spyro the Dragon, but then I already had the tree tops and I think something else from here. I'd have to. Actually, I don't think I did. But I think I already had like 2 lobbies anyway. The Magic Crafters. Yeah. If I had to revise my list, this would definitely make it here if I had to do another list. But then I've probably done all the levels of Spyro that way. I'll try and grab this gem. Actually, let's talk to this guy. So it doesn't matter how many dragons you've rescued from all the other lobbies. If you haven't rescued any from this lobby, you don't get to progress. So you only need 2. So that's Metalhead there. That's the boss, and I love the sky was moving in the background. That was probably sparks. So it was glowing up there, glowing up, lighting up. I don't know. Should we do Metalhead? Oh, I'm missing some gems here. I'm missing some gems, so we best get those first. Now I know where they are. They're in this chest here. This whirly gig only appears when you've got to the top here, and I think actually spoken to Tuco. Not Tuco, sorry, that was in the previous lobby. The balloonist there, whose name I wasn't paying attention to, because I'm a fucking idiot. So, we've got 300 gems. I think we should go on to do... Let me just listen to the music. The music here seems to be the same as the PAL version. I thought the music played a bit slower here. But no, I think it's in Terrace Village where it plays a bit slower. Yeah. So anyway, more pointless houses. Sentry towers for creatures I don't know. You can't go in that. And I say in because it is like swamp water things. Also, there's a radioactive glow there. That's kind of off-putting. I don't know why it's not really consistent. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we're in Metalhead's fortress now. I was about to make a reference to Metal Health then from Quiet Riot, but I think I've already done that. I wonder how many jokes I've repeated. It's like a low-def version, or lo-fi version, of the Reunited Trilogy video, except with more praise. Oh, this looks amazing. This is awesome. I take back what I was saying about the incoherent design. It was only really in Magic Crafters and Dreamweavers, and even then they're meant to be wild and crazy, but here they actually had a design. You know, with the sort of, I guess, I mean, I don't even know what to call it. It's like, I'm trying to think of like what kind of period this would be in history. Because it looks like, I dare say, maybe it looks like the sort of Spanish influence on South America when they colonialized there. It's like you've got the fortresses in the jungles and you know, the elaborate stonework, but you've also got the sort of tribal, the dense thickets and you know all the markings that like you got here, these beautiful patterns. Oh, it's so good. I'm glad there's nothing going on in gaming news that I give a shit about, because I'm perfectly content talking about this. Except, I must mention, I should have mentioned this earlier, future parts of the series may be a bit delayed going out, because I've got the builders coming tomorrow, that's 21st of May, in which time, while I'm sort of, you know, overseeing them, I'll be playing Team Sonic Racing for a review.
This big robot is all charged up to meet you. Attacking the power pole should disrupt its power supply.
That was one of the few purple dragons in the game as well. Not quite with the same textures as us. So yes, I'll be playing Team Sonic Racing. I will not be doing a bit of, though I might be doing my first impressions video and putting that up later in the week, if I can. I don't know what days I can record this week, so I'm going to try and I might even try to complete this game today. But then parts of this will go up throughout the week, and then I'll work on Spyro 2 in the time that I've got. If I complete this today, I'm not going to begin Spyro 2 today as well. Oh shit, actually I can't really do that because I've got to read your comments, haven't I? Okay, if I do end up completing this, I might have to address the comments in Spyro 2 video. Yeah, and that plus then it gives me plenty of time to read comments and things like that, so it's all good. So the whole point of that fight that I skipped over, which you basically managed to take out the green poles, and the red poles would be sort of electrocuted, so you couldn't electrified rather, so you couldn't charge them. Take out all those power conduits, those poles, and Metalhead falls down. And he also had a Mohawk there as well, so you know, because of Metalhead, or it could be a punk, in which case the whole joke falls on its fucking ass. So that's one of the fights. That's the boss of this world done. Not the most intimidating. Only had 2 phases as well, so quite inconsistent with Dr. Shemp and Toasty and Blowhard had 3 phases. I think, yeah, he did, didn't he? And then, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, to be honest, because then you've got Jax and Nasty Nork. Oh yeah, I had quite a few people comment in my top 10 levels of Spyro the Dragon, only recently, telling me the pronunciation of Jax, or Jacka, Jax, Jakes. I heard so many different pronunciations. It's a fucking nightmare. I need to remember before we get there. But according to Spyro the Dragon, because he speaks through me, I shouldn't have to explain this all the time, but I've had to crucify heretics again. It is actually Jax. Okay? Yeah, the wiki can say whatever it wants, the French can say whatever the hell they want. It's Jax. Right, I know where to go next. Sort of. I need to go down here, which I should have done earlier. I can angle the camera properly without moving because of the speed thing. whirligig there. Let's take us back. Absolutely astonishing. Loving this. And I must admit, this is another one of those parts, but especially it's especially more egregious here, where you sort of have to just know that that's waiting for you there, because it's not really that evident. And the thing is that if you go down there, there's no getting back up, so you may have lost a life just by going down there. And why would you think to go down there in a time where invisible walls were fucking horrible? Where you think you can land somewhere but you can't. And in fact, Spyro is quite good for things like that. Like, if you see a ledge, chances are you can get there. But gems were placed in much more obvious places than in the first game. So yeah, you wouldn't really think to look down there, would you? I think I actually, when I first, when I first 100% completed Metalhead, I think I had to follow a walkthrough, or I must have done, because if I didn't, it would have been by total accident that I came across that. Because I would never have thought, in this autistic brain of mine, that I would, yes, there's something down there. You know? It's like a bear at honey, those bees are hiding some good shit and I want it. You know? Right, I know where the rest of the gems are, because we've got a key! So we must find the chest, which we already know its whereabouts. I'm still having nightmares about the really nice trilogy, because I remember this part, and it pissed me off to no end. Really did. By the way, this is solid. This is a solid texture here. You drive into that and you don't get through it. As I will demonstrate now, because I like doing things like that. Boop. There. Have we got all the dragons? Yes, we have. One of them. Yeah, because I had such a difficult time finding all the gems in that level. We've got 15 minutes left. Then, in that case, we best spend the limited time we have on something that we know we can do and have absolutely no trouble with. I am, of course, referring to treetops. This background would be used in Spyro 3, except beehives would be added to the trees. Yeah, in the level Honey Speedway. I'm going to listen to the music very quickly. I was expecting this music to be a bit slower. Apparently not. Those guys have quite deep voices there. There's a red thief over there who's particularly fast and very meddlesome, but we're not going to be going after him yet because I want to try an alternate route to get into him. Now, the bass that you can hear in the background, that's the same sort of rhythm that would be used for the end credits. At least a part of the end credits. And this is just madness that's falling out. Perfect. I love how the numbers bounce in that sequence as well. That's something else I have to give to Spyro, that all the UI elements are sort of in the world. Like, look at this. Where's the UI? There isn't one, because your health meter is sparks. You know, if you want to know how many gems you've just picked up, the numbers appear.
Greetings, Spyro. For an amazing tour of the treetops. Don't just stop at one supercharge.
Don't just stop at one supercharge. It's some of the most helpful advice you're going to get in this level, because this is the supercharge level. This is why it was in my top 10 levels of Spyro the Dragon. Not just because of its use of the supercharge, but also because it was like one of the sort of last ones. Not just because of its legacy, but because of the use of the supercharge. Now, look how easy that was compared to the Reignited trilogy. So, it's not nostalgia that's speaking. Toys for Bob fucked up. Now, I tried the methods that were submitted to me by comments, and still they didn't work.
You've learned a lot since you were a young glider.
Yeah, well, you could have found an easier spot to get stuck.
Even the developers had acknowledged the difficulty of this part. Or at least it was supposed to be difficult. I mean, the first problem was finding it. Because I mean, how are you going to do it? But then eventually, with a bit of practice, you just do it instantly. It's just, and I don't know if it's instinctive or what. I mean, it just doesn't seem that hard. I'm going to do it again. You know, just casually go there, see if I can do it. Oh, look, the tip of the jump gives you that boost enough to leap there. So I think Toys for Bob, I'm going to throw out a wild theory here, I think Toys for Bob purposefully added things to make you fail the jump. Yeah, because I think they wanted to preserve the legacy of Treetops. If people were doing the jump too easily, people would complain that it's too easy. So I think what they try to do is they try to make it artificially difficult. Because I'm looking at it and I think I've never failed any other sort of supercharged jump in the Reignited trilogy. So what is it about this jump that's making me fail? You know, why can't I do this one, but I can do literally any other in the game? And I was thinking about it. I don't know what it was. So I thought the only reason I can think then, because I mean I've tried and I tried all kinds of adjustments to my because I can't easily change my habits, especially when it comes to platform games. I know that at the lip of an edge I'm going to leap. I know that I'm going to hold down the button to do an extra high leap, or I know I'm going to do a short leap and things like that. I know how to position my character. All these kind of things. You can't tell me that however many years of platforming experience, of the problem. Also, those arrows in their hair as well. They've got blood on their tip. They're quite liberal with the blood in this game, aren't they? Anyway, not a complaint, merely an observation. So I have to wonder, well, what's going on? Because it can't be me. Surely not. But no, I just don't know. I mean, maybe other people are doing it fine, in which case, I will admit defeat. But I've been playing these games for long enough, and platform games for long enough. You'd think that I'd be able to make that jump, and for some reason I could not. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out the route. I'm always trying to remember the gems and where they are and places like that. So, yeah, this map always has me lost. No matter what I do, I know where the gems can be located. I'm just trying to find. I'm just trying to sort of, go through the process of elimination. I want to do the alternate route, didn't I? See, I'll just quickly turn off the timer because this is pretty much the last level I'm doing. So I think I'll do another part today, and then we'll maybe wrap up the next. Unless actually this might now. Oh god, I'm trying to think now. How long's the next part going to be? I don't know, because just end. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure it out in my head how long this is going to last. Oh shit, I fucked that up. I'll take that one. I messed up there. Yeah, you're supposed to go onto that circular platform, and then you're meant to go turn around, then leap. I was trying to cut out the middleman. Aha! Oh, I've completely fucked up anyway, because it's not there where I want to go, it's here I want to go. I'll take out a thief. See, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to do the next part. There we go. That was a lot easier than in the Reignited trilogy when I tried doing that. Yeah, so that thief basically wakes up these guys, leaps up the stairs, goes down into the supercharge, and basically you've got to supercharge after him onto a very, well, not very difficult ledge, but somewhat challenging ledge. Whenever I said like Treetops is either difficult or it isn't, and for a lot of people, for a long time, it is difficult.
At the end of a supercharge ramp, you can really go far.
I'm all over it.
If you can do one of the supercharges, like the one we did, that like this one here, going over to that island, down there, then you can do this one. You just got to know the route. So there's a strong box there that I need to destroy. But before I do that, I'm going to be doing this. So leap up there, down here, go for this second supercharge, which gives you an extra speed boost. The thief would be here, and he'd be running around. Well, not running around, he'd actually be very slow, because you've kind of done the difficult part. So yeah, if you can do this part, you can do any other supercharge here, and pretty much in the game, as long as you know the route. And that's the key thing there. So I really am trying to wonder now, what am I going to do for the next 2 parts? Unless I just do the fire. I'll have to see how much time I've got. Oh, there it is here. Because I need to go back and destroy that strong box that contains the gems. So this one here, so I'm going the wrong way completely. But that's okay, because I know there's a whirly-gig waiting for me. Oh, there isn't. And I've just messed up again. Yeah, treetops. I love the level design. I'm not going to say it's a mess of a level. That's not true. I just have great difficulty navigating at a time. Sorry, navigating where the gems are. No, because it's not a mess of a level. It's not a mess of level design, because if it was, the superchargers wouldn't work. Toys for Bob. And the whole level would collapse. So actually, everything has been. I would dare say that more care has been taken with this level, although I don't know what's going on with that ledge there, but still, I would dare say that a lot more care has been taken with this level than most others, because everything has to be precise. Everything has to be perfect in order to make those jumps work. Which don't in the Reignited trilogy. So it's not that. It's not. It can't be the asset placement. It might be collision detection, as in how Spyro interacts with the roads and things like that. But beyond that, almost got a whirligig or whirlwind, whatever you prefer now. As we're coming to the end of the video, that could be a treat. So yeah, God, it's totally baffling. I don't know. I'll tell you what I think I will do. I think in the next part I will do this. I will do the Dreamweavers for an hour and 10 minutes, and then whatever's left, if I've got to do Nasty Nox World, I will do that in a completely separate part. So part 4, possibly even 5, will be Nasty's loot. So with that said, I'm going to end it here. Just I get myself into position for another place, into Misty Bog. We've got everything there. I just want to check everything there and everything there, and then that's really it for me. So thank you ever so much for watching a bit of Spyro the Dragon. Hope you're all having a pleasant time, and I will be immediately recording the next part and putting those 2 parts up, and then in part 4, or part 5, well yeah, part 4, I will be answering your comments. Now where we'll be in part 4, I have no idea, but fingers crossed. We'll have plenty of content, and it'll be a nice lengthy episode. Fingers crossed. Till next time, I'm Johnbonne, and you've been watching a bit of Spyro the Dragon. Take care. Ta for now.